Greetings, comrades. Hope this finds you well. Quick shout out to INN, the Indian News Network, which I'm stoked to be a part of. Christiane also wants to shout out. She's getting some miles in on the elliptical, so we will give her a shout out for that. So I don't know if you came across this, but you probably did. It was making the rounds a couple days back. A reporter was asking Nancy Pelosi, should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress? And her response was, no, we're a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that. And then I saw this article, Jeffrey St. Clair's roaming charges, his weekly article at Counterpunch. Highly recommend that. Just the breakdown of so many different stories throughout the week that he puts in there. And there's one in there about how at least 75 lawmakers bought and sold stocks in companies that make COVID-19 vaccine treatments and tests. So let's first check out Pelosi saying that, no, it's the free market. This corruption just needs to happen because the free market. Congress people, their spouses, their family member, they should be able to profit off of us being in power. And again, Pelosi is extremely wealthy herself, has a net worth of $196.7 million fucking dollars. So she is doing just fine when a vast majority of people in the United States are living, paycheck to paycheck. Most of us can't even afford a $500 emergency expense, and she is almost a 200 fucking millionaire. Again, corporate duopoly, Republican and Democrat, they serve capital. They serve the capitalist class. They do not serve the best interest of the working class here in the United States, and this is just another example of that, right? So here we go.
Madam Speaker, Insider just completed a 5-month investigation finding that 49 members of Congress and 182 senior congressional staffers have violated the Stock Act, the insider trading law. I'm wondering if you have any reaction to that. And secondly, should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
Obviously, even if she didn't believe in this, she should at least say she supports this. The optics of this are just horrible, right? And again, it's not just a Democratic thing. Republicans also obviously do this. We saw, was it back in 2020, Senator Loeffler and Perdue, those two Republican senators were profiting off of their insider knowledge of what was happening regards to the pandemic. They made off, they saved money or made money by doing that. So obviously it's not just a Democratic problem.
Now, I don't know to the second one. We have a responsibility to report on the stock.
Now, again, if this was actually a sane governing system, which it obviously never has been, it's a settler colonial state, founded on the genocide of indigenous peoples, founded on white supremacy, slavery of Africans, and those are other things underpinning and upholding settler colonial state. That is the U.S. along with obviously, racial capitalism, right? If we had a sane type of governance system, of course, it's a fucking no-brainer, right? People in government should not be able to enrich themselves by investing in these companies or having families invest in these companies due to their insider trading knowledge where they're able to enrich themselves, right? Of course, but she can't even pay fucking lip service to the idea. That is how completely corrupt and morally bankrupt, without any type of ethics, this system is that we have.
But I'm not familiar with that 5-month review, but if people aren't reporting, they should be. Because this is a free market and people, we're a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
God, yeah, that is just how horrible she is. Pelosi's husband, Paul, has been a shrewd pandemic trader, making $5.3 million on a series of bets on the tech market. Nancy isn't going home. Let's see what this one is. But anyway, so that's pretty interesting. And then we have this article that I found in that Counterpunch roaming charges. Federal lawmakers invest big in COVID vaccines. These 75 lawmakers bought and sold stock in companies that make COVID-19 vaccines, treatments, and tests. So again, this is the exact thing that Nancy Pelosi is in complete support of. These lawmakers, 75 plus of them, getting rich off of being in this position of power. Again, these people aren't, public servants. They serve themselves, they serve them families, and they serve their capitalist overlords, right? At least 75 lawmakers held shares of Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, or Pfizer in 2020. Lawmakers holding stock in these companies has prompted ethical concerns. But again, nothing's probably going to happen because just the system is just completely corrupt on every fucking level. Several other lawmakers traded shares of companies with a direct stake in the epidemic. Jesus Christ. Yep. Again, it's both sides of the aisle. At least 13 senators, 35 reps held shares of Johnson & Johnson medical behemoth that produced a single-shot COVID vaccine that more than 15 million Americans received. Conflict of interest much, right? Jesus Christ. Policymakers especially viewed the coronavirus developed by critical to helping countries, yes. Marie Newman's spouse manages the family's finances. Investors in vaccines included freshman rep Marie Newman, Democrat in Illinois, whose husband Jim Newman has traded shares of both Johnson & Johnson and Moderna. Congresswoman's 2020 annual personal financial disclosure also listed the couples together holding shares in Moderna. So two of the big vaccine makers, right? Jesus Christ. This corruption is unreal. Look at that. And look at this Moderna. As the pandemic took hold, the stock's value grew exponentially. Moderna peaked in September 2021 at more than $455 a share. Before the pandemic, it was below 20. And again, who has the ability to invest, $15,000 worth into the fucking stock market? Not the average working class person, when a majority of the people in the working class can't afford a fucking $500 emergency expense or living paycheck to fucking paycheck. I mean, Jesus Christ. Even some Republican lawmakers who vocally opposed COVID-19 vaccines, of course they fucking did. Vivian Scott, the rifle rep Austin Scott, Republican of Georgia, traded up to $50,000 worth of Johnson & Johnson stock on 2 occasions this year. I mean, again, $50,000 worth of Pfizer stock. Marjorie Taylor Greene, vaccine Nazis, boast about not getting vaccinated, reported owning stock. So she doesn't want to get vaccinated, but she owns stock in vaccine makers, including Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and AstraZeneca. Oh my God. Holy fuck. So, and then in these other, agencies, and Quest Diagnostics, a leading COVID-19 test provider. Regeneron makes monoclonal antibody treatment. Jesus Christ. Fucking A. Again, so not surprising, but just another example of how just completely corrupt and disgusting this disgusting political system is that we have here in the United States. Both parties completely bought and paid for by these corporate interests, and they're investing in these same corporate interests who are making, billions, profiting off this disaster capitalism during this pandemic, right? Capitalism is the virus. Both parties are bought and paid for by the capitalist class, hence why they don't serve me and you. They serve their fucking rich capitalist overlords.
Hi, just got done with 1 mile.
Like the video. If you like the video, subscribe for more content.
Peace.
Quick shout out to the 2 Uber comrades supporting my channel, my partner, and Indie Left News.
And me.
And I guess Christiane too.
Yay.
Peace.